2 days ago, kind of unthinkable happened. 2 days ago, Moscow mobilization centers, the centers for this operation called mobilization of the reservists in Russia, they stopped working in the afternoon, right after lunch hour. They were accused of people who had been manhunted and brought over to mobilization centers. There was a very hard process of work, signing paperwork and basically getting people mobilized and sent to the army. And all of a sudden, everything stopped in the middle of the day. People, the employees of the mobilization centers, they went out and started tearing down signs saying mobilization centers. And police officers and mobilization people, staff who were in the centers inside, they basically told everyone to leave. They were free to go. People couldn't believe it. They started taking out their cell phones and filming, asking, "We can go?" And the officials were replying something like this: "You can go. All the paperwork that is in the process of being signed and being done is going to be ripped apart and thrown out. You're free to go." Right after the mayor of Moscow made a very emotional speech saying mobilization in Moscow was over. Over? Yeah, right. Howdy. Welcome to Inside Russia. My name is Konstantin, and I'm streaming live, giving you the latest updates on Russia, giving you the latest events unfolding. I am streaming from Uzbekistan, but Russia is in my heart. And I'm going to be talking about the end of mobilization. So, it's been done. 2 days ago, Mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin, came out and publicly said a very emotional, a very strange speech. Very strange. He didn't say a word about this so-called special military operation, and usually all the officials are all over about it. He said that the goals have been met in Moscow. He said that he wishes mobilized people, man, good luck, and, our prayers are with them, and he prays that they would come back safe, alive, and with victory. Now, I'm going to just, in case you don't know, I'm going to give you a very brief history of this process called mobilization. It was announced by none other than Vladimir Putin on September 21st. And he basically addressed the nation. And right after, he signed a presidential decree, saying that mobilization was announced. And the reservists were to be mobilized into the Russian army. Now, right after Vladimir Putin, a Minister of Defense, Sergei Shoigu, came out and said that, he said many things. Among those, he said there will be 300,000 young, able Russian men in excellent health, in adequate health, with experience of serving in the army, with military experience, preferably with experience of taking part in wars. They will be mobilized, and that's it. The presidential decree didn't say anything about the number of people. Instead, the item number 7 on the decree was missing. 6 and 8. And Dmitry Peskov, Russian president's press secretary, said that was secret. And it was a secret clause, item, whatever, number. People started making suggestions that the real number of people who were to be mobilized was in that item, in that clause. And it was made secret. Okay. Later, mobilization started. Well, it basically started later the same very day. My daughter, oldest daughter, Oля, came back from the university and she was crying because this terrible tragedy that started happening on February 24th to Ukraine, to the Ukrainians, to my country, to the Russians, to pretty much the entire world, touched her for the very first time on 21st of September. She was sitting listening to her lectures at the university, and all of a sudden she started getting panicked messages from her girlfriends. 3 of the girlfriends were crying, saying that the boyfriends were being mobilized. Someone knocked on the doors and served the papers, and that's it. They had to go. So this tragedy touched Oля very personally on the 21st of September, at the very first day. And it just showed everyone that people at the mobilization centers, they were ready. They started serving papers right after Vladimir Putin stopped talking. But still, I would say first week, things weren't going very hard. The mobilization people were knocking on doors along with the police officers. They knocked on doors. Some people opened doors, got served papers, got yanked and right into the army centers. Some people did not open doors. Some fled Russia. Well, I know that very well. Some stayed, some started hiding inside Russia. There was lots of confusion. There was lots of fear, but it wasn't panic, so to speak, you know. Perhaps it was, but just a little bit. Well, things started getting worse at the beginning of October. Russia annexed 4 provinces of Ukraine and made it its own. Kherson, Donetsk, Lugansk, and partially Zaporozhye. And Ukrainian army has been very active in the offensive. Therefore, more people needed to defend this newly annexed, whatever you call it, this territories, the land grab territories. But then, I don't really know what happened, but some of the governors of different provinces, they started announcing that mobilization plans were done. Rostov, well, I follow very closely Rostov province because that's where I live, between Rostov and Moscow. So on 3rd of October, Rostov governor came out and he said, that's it, Rostov province is done, mobilization is over. But it kept on going. Here and there in Rostov, people were being mobilized. So I didn't believe the official statement. And of course, the very same person, came out, I believe, on the 11th of October, just 1 week later, saying, there are new plans from Moscow and mobilization is on again. Surprise, surprise, The other provinces followed. Same thing. The governors came out and said, mobilization is on. New plans. And Dmitry Peskov officially disavowed them, saying that, only president of Russian Federation can decide when mobilization is off and on. And that's true, okay? Putin didn't say anything about the mobilization being off, like over. So the governors, it's really hard to understand what they were saying. But, you see, people started calling it second wave. The first wave was confusion, was miscoordination on the part of the government, because they let around 700,000 Russian males out of the country by simply letting them go. I know I was one of the males in Uzbekistan right now, and for the same very reason I came here, I left Russia. Some people were turned down, and most were let out because there was lots of miscoordination between the government agencies. One agency didn't know what the other one was doing. The Border Patrol didn't know who. They didn't have lists. They didn't know who was not to let go and who could leave Russia freely. So in the beginning of October, that started changing. Someone was put in charge. It wasn't announced or anything. It wasn't official, but it was right there in the air because the attempts started being much more coordinated. And the first thing they did, they shut off the borders of Russia. Basically, the lists of people who are subjects to mobilization, most of males, they were available to Border Patrol officers, and they simply stopped letting people out, males on the list out. The huge queue line of cars to leave Russia through Georgian border, up to 40 kilometers, like 25 miles. And same thing for Kazakhstan. Those huge lines, they disappeared because, Russian males understood that to get to Border Patrol, you had to go through this checkpoint where they would serve you papers. They would compare, they would search for your name in a database, and if you'd come up, you'd get served. Right now, there's no cars, there's no line at any land border between Russia and Georgia, Russia and Kazakhstan. Much more organized, much more effective work. Again, there's always 1 week lag. No matter what announcement is made, you can be sure that things will not start moving in Russia until 1 week later. Okay, that's been proven many times. Meanwhile, in large cities, especially Moscow and St. Petersburg, situation worsened in terms of brutality of authorities searching and detaining Russian males to send them to mobilization centers. In Moscow was leading the suit this time. Moscow was brutal. They were manhunts, patrols of police on the streets, by the subway stops, in public places, in public transportation stops. They were checking for papers and basically were detaining males and not arresting them, but detaining and sending to mobilization centers. And then mobilization people would serve them papers, and off they go. Off they went. That brutality lasted for about a week, and all of a sudden this miracle happened. Mayor Sobyanin announced that Moscow was done, mobilization was over. And it's true. The mobilization centers stopped working. Okay? Now, why? Let's find out why. Can we trust the authorities? Can we rely on this information? And can we be sure that that's it? The males are safe? Well, Vladimir Putin came out and addressed the nation on the 13th, saying that mobilization would last for 2 more weeks, until basically throughout the end of October. And then 3 days later, Sergei Sobyanin contradicts him and says it's over. Said who? I said, the mayor of Moscow. I don't care what president says. I'm the mayor of Moscow, and I'm ending this thing. That's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't disagree with that. But why? It is very obvious to me that something really happened on the inside, behind the curtains, that we don't really understand. It wasn't announced to the public. Most likely, the situation was being monitored by KGB, by special agencies, and they understood that Moscow was at the breaking point. They understood that people were so upset. Men were hiding at home. They wouldn't get out of their apartments. Women were absolutely crazily angry, vile. Brutality was tipping the scale. Okay, and this situation in Moscow was not good. And then they decided to abruptly stop it, to somehow rectify this, okay? And I believe in that. But the thing is, mayor of Moscow was followed only by one person, mayor of Moscow province. There's two different, it's like Moscow, DC, so to speak, and Moscow province. There are two things. Like I'm comparing it to the United States. Moscow is an independent entity within Russia, okay? And then there's also Moscow province. So the Moscow province governor followed the suit, saying, oh, same thing as in Moscow. Mobilization is over. Okay. But other governors came out and say, well, mobilization is continuing. There are quite a few, and they are the mayors of, well, the governors of Rostov region, Kursk, Voronezh, to name a few. They kept on saying, hey, mobilization is going on. We have a plan, and we gotta, meet this plan. Okay, and the plan obviously comes from Ministry of Defense from Moscow, perhaps from the Kremlin, I think from the Ministry of Defense. So one politician says it's over, very emotional about that, said, he's praying for people to come back alive and safe, and other ones saying, whatever, it's going on. And then there's Putin, who comes out and says that it's going to be over in 2 weeks. Now, who do we trust? Vladimir Putin, right? He's the president. He's the one announced the mobilization. He's the one who signed the decree. He's number one guy, right? But let's just take a few statements that Vladimir Putin made recently that really caught my attention. And those statements are not forgotten, okay, by any means. Well, on the 24th of February, he announced that Russia starts attacking Ukraine, invading Ukraine, call whatever you want. Russian rockets start flying and hitting Ukrainian targets, tanks rolling over Ukraine, and Russian soldiers marching over Ukraine soil with the goal of denazification and demilitarization of Ukraine. You know what? After a while, after a few months, these two goals were dropped. No one talked about, well, they just stopped talking about denazification of Ukraine. But hey, what's said is said. Okay, you cannot just unsay it. But approximately from the very middle of summer, Russian media just dropped this topic whatsoever. And Vladimir Putin, in following speeches, never once touched that denazification. Does it mean that Russia denazified Ukraine? We don't know. But that doesn't smell right and doesn't smell good, On March 8th, Vladimir Putin said that none of conscripts, and as you know, there's draft in Russia, so young men, when they reach age of 18, they're drafted and they become conscripts. They serve in the Russian army. So he said publicly again, promised that no Russian conscripts were taking place in the special military operation in Ukraine. His own Ministry of Defense contradicted him the very next day, saying the conscripts were taking participation in Ukraine. So they basically announced that Vladimir Putin just lied, right? Okay. On the very same day, Vladimir Putin made a promise to everyone, to all the citizens, taxpayers, voters, saying that the reservists will not be mobilized. And the goals of that special military operation, please forgive me for saying that, will be met by the professional soldiers who signed contracts to serve in the Russian army. He said that publicly. that very same person contradicted himself by announcing on the 21st of September that Russia was going into mobilization and that the reservists with the experience of serving in the Russian army were to be called up and sent to Ukraine. So we move forward. March 16th, Vladimir Putin said that Russia doesn't have and has not had any goal to occupy Ukraine. And on September 30th, that same very guy, the president of Russian Federation, signed the papers to, what's this word? To include 4 Ukrainian provinces, Kherson, Lugansk, Donetsk, and Zaporizhia, into Russia, and made it officially Russian territory, according from the Russian law, okay? And the Senate ratified it soon after. So the very same guy said on March 16th there will be no land grab, and then he signed the paperwork for the land grab on September 30th. So I have a question. How do we trust him after what he said many times and after what really happened? How do we trust him? And he is number one guy in the Russian government, in the Russian state. And if he says that and does the opposite, how can we trust other officials of the Russian government? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen and you mark it down, you write my words. Right now, take pens and papers and mark my words, write them down. Now, of course, mobilization in Russia will be over in 2 weeks. Yes, because guess what? The autumn draft starts. And Russian mobilization centers simply don't have capacity to double their efforts, okay? They will officially stop actions for mobilization of the reservists, but they will not stop the actions in reality, only on paper. In reality, they will simply switch to draft. They will be drafting conscripts, young men, okay? Not the reservists, but young men. And this draft will continue approximately 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, in the mid-November, there will be a new announcement that there is mobilization continues. Plain and simple. So when mayor of Moscow comes out and says that mobilization is over, first, he doesn't have any official rights to do that because mobilization could be stopped by the person who started, the president of Russian Federation. So mayor of Moscow simply either doesn't know what he's talking about or he's just simply lying, He simply does not have authority to stop mobilization. Dmitry Peskov, Russia's president, announced that the following day, yesterday, said, Sobyanin doesn't have authority. None of the governors have authority. And when he was asked, what the governor's talking about, he addressed that question to the governors. He said, you ask the governors what they're talking about. And when he says mobilization is over in Moscow, it's just, at best, I have a smile on my face. At worst, I start laughing hysterically. Okay, because it's very, very clear. And of course, probably, most likely, of course, there are people, Russians, who actually believe that guy. But then the same Russians believe in many things. Believe in Nazis in Ukraine and perhaps even believe in reptiloids, believe in Martians, believe in, things like that. So anyway, sorry for my message being a little emotional. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to deliver it. And I hope you marked my word. And I hope that you will see and you'll be looking for what is to happen with the mobilization in mid-November in Russia. Meanwhile, thank you so much for giving me a chance for watching this. I have a pretty important announcement to make. Before I turn on the chat, we have a new addition to Inside Russia team. I'm very happy to announce that Amir Fazat has become the one of the moderators. Please welcome him. He's usual suspect. He's serial super chatter. He's a good friend, you know. The person I trust, my moderators trust. Moderators welcomed him, and I hope and I'm sure that he will be a great addition to our team. Thank you so much, Amir. Welcome. And everyone, the chat is on. I am ready to answer your questions, please. Mommy is number one today. Fantastic. A little teaser. I have a person a lot of you know, kind of a legendary status here in Tashkent. And we are going to be doing a live stream together. Looks like he's coming over and it's happening. So I'm not going to tell you the name for me to know, for you to find out. I also got lots of messages. I finish every single stream with the phrase Carthago delende est. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You go ahead and Google and you'll find out. So, Mommy is number one, Golden Griffon, Lorna is also number one. Who else is here? Amir is here. Howdy, howdy. Amir, the new mod. Harry Potman, Bob S. is on leave with personal matters. So welcome, friends, and welcome, everyone. The usual suspects. Great to see you. Let's jump right into the questions. If you want me to have higher chances to notice your message, please put it in caps and put Inside Russia after @ sign so it appears in a large orange box. Much easier for me to see. Piggy Maximus, thank you so much. Now that they're rebranding Mobilization, what next do you think they will rebrand? No one can tell you that because those people are operating with the horizon of planning of 3 days, I think. They don't know themselves what's going to happen on the day 4. They only plan for 3 following days. So I have no clue and they have no clue. Not in the history of the world, Russia has been run so poorly as it's being run right now. There's a huge discoordination on all levels of the government. No one knows what to do, and everyone tries to pursue local goals. Okay, there's not one general coordination. We simply don't know who's in charge. I mean, come on, if the president says things like that and does the opposite, I mean, is he in charge? I don't know. Good tea. Taylor's. This is the last brew of Taylor's. Taylor's at Harrogate. Assam pure leaf tea or whole leaf tea. Very, very good stuff. Joanna Woods, welcome to Inside Russia. Great to see you. I hope you will join us on Saturday for live stream for sponsors and patrons. Black Cat, howdy, howdy. Mamir, congrats, my friend. Love all you folks. Thank you so much. Black Cat, you're also part of a team. You are an official mod. So thanks for being here. Bill Daly, all according to the 3-day plan. I think so. I think so very much. Edmond 237, mobilizing aliens for Operation Barbecue. Always love hearing messages from you. Thank you so much. Lionel, howdy, howdy. Greetings from Cardiff, South Wales. Welcome. Thank you. Jan Allen. How's tea going? Have you changed or still on the Earl Grey? Well, this is the last remaining brew of Assam, okay? And I still have lots of Earl Grey. I think it'll last me a week or so, and then off to something else. Twinings, I think. I'll try Twinings. Brian says already Googled. Good. Deuce Array? Well, you go and find out, please. Glenn, thanks for not skirting the issue. First time I feel you were true and honest. Good job. Wow. My friend, Glenn, you think that at other times I wasn't honest and I wasn't true? You really got me puzzled. Please clarify your statement. This is the first time. I don't know. Trust me, I am true and honest every single time I go live in front of you. Otherwise, why would I go live? Okay? And I think it's very easy to spot anyone, me included, including. If someone is being dishonest in front of the camera, I mean, camera is like an X-ray. SF Joe, howdy howdy. King Khan, has there been any public update since 59 number? Nope, has not been. Any chance women forced into labor? What do you mean forced into labor? The pregnant ones? Oh, forced into labor. You mean no, not anytime near. No, that hasn't gone that far. David Sharp, great message. Points well made. Thank you. David, thanks for the support and thanks for the message. Arena Suisa, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So anyway, Glenn, please clarify what you meant. For the first time, I feel you were true and honest. How many times you actually were here? How many times you watched? Sophie and others, you don't have to post anything about that. You just know. You Google. I mean, I know, you know, it just don't leave it alone, okay? Carmen, howdy, howdy. Dirk, howdy, hope you feel good. Okay, I'm not gonna discuss the Carthago thing. This is for me to know, for you to find out, that's all. Ryan, when do you think economic mobilization will ramp up? Soon. Russian economy is entering very unstable time, very bad time. And we might see the first birds, so to speak. Well, we'll have already seen the laws, but the real actions towards the end of the year soon and beginning of the next year. Alan Christensen, howdy. Jim, I watch every day to learn, so I don't ask questions. Thank you. Well, it's okay to ask questions, you know. Lori Lane, howdy from Texas. Howdy, Lori. Super chat from GT with no message, but thank you. $10 is a very strong message by itself. Keith, I like how you honestly and openness increase. Oh, your honesty and openness increase with the distance from Russia. Good on you. Well, there are pros and cons to that, but I'm just being true to myself. That's pretty much it. Apparently, you think one thing and other people, Glenn, thinks completely opposite. It's like the first time he feels my honesty. Paul Mix, everything is going to be fine. Don't worry. Thank you. I hope so. Koshkin Dom from Denmark. Howdy. Is this Denmark or Norway? Tiny flag, I don't see. Patrick Boudry, big love from Canada. Your message from yesterday, what if they don't care? Made it into Twitter in my feed today. It made a positive impression on people. Stay safe and strong. Thank you so much, Patrick. I hope they care. But what if they don't? It's pretty scary. I'm looking for this message from Glenn, the clarification, Leaf, when you mention Carthage, there's only one known saying. Agreed, but let's leave it out of conversation. It's just I know and you know, and that's it. For us to know, for others to find out. Luke, howdy, thank you. Is the mobilization across the provinces done at equal rates, or are some being asked to provide more? The second, of course, they're being asked to provide more. Moscow is a completely different world, Also, could Moscow mayor be viewed as an opposition to the president? I doubt it. I doubt it very much. As soon as the second he's viewed as opposition, he'll be out of the picture. Oppositioners are not welcomed in Russia. Damian Da Silva, thank you so much for the support. Trust is the greatest issue. Peace at any cost is just conflict in waiting. Agreed. It's not a question, it's a statement. Hard to disagree with you. There's a message from Ivan. Thank you, Ivan. What is your view on Belarus? Will they be forced to enter the conflict by Mr. P? He will try. Will he succeed? When Mr. P says jump, Belarus says how high? Belarus depends on Russia very much. I don't know if the Belarusian president is such a good friend, or he's blackmailed, or he depends on, or who made a deal. I don't really know, but I feel that Belarus is just the extension of Russia, okay? And Belarus will do whatever Russia says to do. That's plain and simple. I don't know what the plans for Belarus are. Cat likes cats. Thank you for continued honesty. Enjoy your streams very much. Thank you very much, Cat. Apparently, some people who don't think for your explanation or clarification. Perhaps I misunderstood you. Get UFBR. Thank you so much. Switzerland. Greetings from Switzerland. Any news from Russia about how prices for everyday goods developed over the last few months? On the rise. Official information just came out saying, oh, there's inflation in Russia. Surprise, surprise, so it's official. And the prices, especially for food, have gone up pretty much. How do I know? Well, I'm still paying for food that is bought in Russia by certain close people, people close, very close to me. And every time they make a purchase, it rings in my phone, cha-ching, cha-ching, so I know. Alex Bravo, keep up streams and stay safe out there. Well, I'm a bit safer than in Russia, thank you. Glenn, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to clarify. Ernestas Luja, hello from Luza. Hello from Lithuania. Howdy, my friend. Always great to have a Lithuanian on the stream. Always pleasure to receive greetings from a person from one of the Baltic states. Hello from Germany. DVS 71 Chicago. I'm an American and pray for you and your family. Thank you so much. I believe prayers do help. Oh, I know they do help. Thank you. Thank you so much. DH, I missed what you said, came late. Well, please rewatch, because I find this message is pretty interesting. Little Dickens too. People still in Russia go to prison or out of the window for being honest. Some do. When Konstantin was still in Russia, I didn't ask questions to keep him from getting in trouble. I see. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Cryptominter, we're witnessing the end of Russia. That's actually a very deep... This is a topic for entire stream. I don't think that Russia will cease to exist after this is over. I think it'll exist in a different state. And what that state, I don't really know. But obviously enough, it's going to be quite different, you know. Resus, okay to post the Latin words, not the meaning. Well, go ahead and post if you want, but don't discuss. And this is just something I say at the end of at the end of every stream. That's all. There's a very large support from GetUFBR. Thank you so much. Have some good money then. Oh, have some food money then. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it. That my wife is going to spend them very fast. Lori Lane, will you see your family soon? Praying for that, hoping for that. Will not discuss personal plans here, sorry. But I really appreciate you asking and you caring. The Highwayman, can we pray for peace today? Every day. Every day we pray for the bloodshed to end. That's how I call peace. But I will specifically for you, I will call this peace, okay? Mary Mackenzie, best wishes, stay safe, love from Scotland. Thank you, Mary. All the leaves are brown. Yes, thank you, Black Cat. There's a question from Deuce. He, mayor of Moscow, will be defenestrated. What's defenestrated? But I think I understand. Okay, not a question, but a statement. Rochelle Rannon, is there an ethnic aspect to the mobilization? Oh, ethnic. I don't think so. At least I have not heard of anything like some ethnicities are being taken, others are left out. It's like, you know, when there's a lawn mower going and mows the lawn, all the grass is cut. Regular grass, you know, flowers, whatever's in the way is cut. Same thing as the mobilization. So I believe there's no ethnic aspect to it. Amir, I think you're doing a great job on moderating. Jill, yeah, I saw the message. Bohemian Spirit 18 SR. What a name. Hi cons from Florida. Living what you preach is honorable to yourself and the example that you give your children, my way of thinking, and living remain always loyal to yourself. Thank you. Very emotional statement. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Black Cat. That's how I got my cat fed him, and we have became friends. With who? Donna Olson. Howdy, howdy. Leave. Today I read about a 30-year-old man who has made his military service in Finland, and now he says got an invitation to visit the office in Primorsk, close to St. Petersburg. There was a law in Russia that if you served in the army of a different country, then you cannot serve in the Russian army. So, but that was in the past. I'm not sure if it still stands or not, but you know, I think these days they don't care. They just need to come up with the numbers. They need to make the plans. Karen from Maine, always great to see you. Thank you so much for support. To Glenn, just look at just look at that face. Okay, I won't read it anymore. Thank you, American Babushka. Thank you so much. I love you too. Again and again and again. Some people, not often, but sometimes I get accused for, I don't know, lying, being dishonest or whatever. But it's not just about me. It's about everyone. If you sit here in front of the camera and you try to act, it shows. I mean, it's very obvious, okay? You can't lie in front of the camera. You just get picked apart right away. That's pretty much it. I mean, this is a great truth X-rayer, this camera. And Karen, thank you again. Thank you so much for your message. That was a greetings from California, which I missed. Hello from West Virginia. Craig, it was announced mobilized from the regions paid $20 per day and bag of flowers. All kinds of news from different provinces. You see, the provincial governments, they decided to act independently, and some of them decided to help the families of men who were mobilized. Some giving so much coal for people, families of the mobilized, to heat their houses. Some provide like a sack of flour and cabbage. Some give onions and potatoes. I don't understand. This is shame for the country. There must be one center in Ministry of Defense in the Russian province or government or whatever, making universal rules for everyone. They have universal rules for everything else, but not the mobilization. I don't understand why. I think this is a complete lack of coordination, and I think this is just a showcase of how ineffective the Russian government works. There are so many heads. One head says one thing, hands, so many hands on the bottom, and the hands doing their own separate thing, independent. They're autonomous from the heads, and different heads say different things. And this is such a mess. Oh my God, this is shameful. I need some tea. By the way, my mom is watching. She watches every single stream. Hi, Mom. I love you. Sponsor, new sponsor. Welcome to Inside Russia, Devin33. Thank you. Bez and Rob, best wishes. May God protect you from Slovenia. Thank you so much, my friend. Bohemian spirit, an end to new beginning. My friend, you're spot on. I want to pause right now and I want to tell you that perhaps this is I'm gonna be talking more about that on Saturday in the private streams of sponsors and patrons. Please, everyone, please forgive me, but this is my way of thinking. People who actually support, they pledge monthly support to me, and I give them something very special, okay? But this is actually very, very, very good idea that Bohemian Spirit just gave me. End of something and beginning of something. I felt absolutely miserable and terrible when I came to Uzbekistan. I felt like, depression, I don't know, whatever you name it. Depression is just something long. It doesn't go away that fast, okay? Not even on the pills. But so I don't think it was depression, but it was like emotional down, emotional hole, so to speak. And it felt very bad. And it culminated when Russians bombed all over Ukraine with the rockets, a week ago. And a lot of you saw the stream, okay? Karen, thank you again. You all saw me being just myself in front of you, and I was breaking down, okay? And the next day I was given an answer, and things changed. I felt and still feel empowered. I feel right now, a few days later, that a lot of doors opened in front of me, and all of a sudden things started happening, okay? So to me personally, that is definitely a new beginning. And I will tell more in the private stream on Saturday what kind of beginning that is. So Bohemian Spirit, thank you so much. That's actually a very important statement you made. Marley Borup, thank you so much for your support. Your truth and honesty is why I stick by my statement when I share your channel with others. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Inside Russia is allowing many barriers to be crossed and people united between the collective West and East. Thank you, friend. Well, thank you, Marley, because this is exactly what I try to do. One of the things is I try to barriers to be crossed and people unified between the East and the West. Very well said. Okay. Thank you so very much. I appreciate the support, but even more, I appreciate your trust and your, support coming here, watching and spreading my word, my message. Thank you so very much. William, blessings to your mother. Thank you so much. Every single time after I'm done streaming, there's a procedure before the streams and after the streams, It's like a streamlined thing, because if it's not streamlined, I would forget something. I would forget to turn on the mic, to turn on the light, to turn off light at certain, places and stuff like that. So it's a streamlined procedure, operation before and after I'm done streaming every time. And it never fails. My mom always SMSs me, like texts me saying, "Oh, dear son, please, have a good night, good stream," stuff like that. So thank you so very much. Ferrari guy, an end to the Russian state would not be the end of Russian people. Oh, I think so too. I think so very too. It's not even going to be the end of Russian state. It's just the state will be reformed or evolved or something like that, Could be an opportunity, but I'm not sure Russians are ready. Time will tell. That's a very tough, painful question. I don't know how to answer it. Time will tell. Black Cat, thank you so much. Love you, sir, and the mods and the fellow friends of the stream. And now Amir gets to play kitty support. You're off the hook, mammy. Thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. Koshkin Dom, thank you so much. Greetings from Norway to your mom and family. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Rachel Rayanen, Russia cannot end, but it can be broken up. It doesn't have to be broken up. It can be reformed and transformed, okay? But I don't know what will happen. Time will tell. Peter Feeney, hi Constantine and all the mods, old and new. Thank you. DH, it's not so simple. Thank you. Thank you so much, though. See Vierix Gems, please tell us how you are helping other refugees. Well, I played a huge part in the life of one refugee. This is not my story, and I'm not going to tell you. Hopefully, that person is going to be good soon, all right soon, and he will tell you himself. I have played not such a huge, but some role in the life of another refugee 2 days ago. And I am currently involved in the lives of 3 people. So that makes it 5. I'm not going to tell you more than that. Now, this is mid of October. And I think by the end of the year, there will be many, many more people that will say that I have some involvement in their lives. So that's answering your question. Lars Henrik, it's possible to eat money, but the food is eatable at least. Oh, it's impossible to eat money, but the food is eatable at least. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good statement. Martin B. Constantine, I did not see all of your videos. Did you explain difference between Russia and Russia? Not sure I understand the question. I think this is an interesting topic during mobilization in regions of Russia. Perhaps you wanted to write down, did you explain the difference between Moscow and Russia? I did some time ago. Moscow is the capital of Russia, and then it's a state within the state of its own, different laws, different rules, different regulations. What is there to say? I mean, if there anything particular you want me to speak of, just please let me know then. Boxy, good evening, Constantine, and no news from outside Russia. So I will just say there's some very concerning news coming out of the UK this evening. For you and your family, stay safe. I'm not sure what news you mean. I heard news about performance of the economy. That's disturbing, yes. I really wish and desire that UK economy bounces back, because that you are a pillar of the West, and we need you strong and stable, and we need you to be a beacon for everyone else to look and you say, well, look, this Britain is really great. So please get well very soon back. Deacon Prepper, howdy, howdy. Joy, thank you. Ernestus, glad to see such a wise Russian in these dark days. I'm not the only one. There are all kinds of Russians. You should see Tashkent these days. So many wise Russians here. Crypto Minder. Constantine, I'm in Spain. If you and your family need a place to stay, I'd love to have you with us. Keep safe and thank you for the updates. Well, please let me know what's your email, because you never know. I'm gonna write down Crypto Miner. If you offer help, please mean it, because you never know. I might show up on your doorsteps one day. Who knows what kind of help I will need, where, from who. Crypto Miner. Crypto Minter. Minter, I'm sorry. Lorna blocked. Call it is. Lorna, I have faith in all your decisions, so be it. No problem here. Thank you. John, hello from Sri Lanka, but in Krakow. Stay safe. John, please send me some of your wonderful tea. Bohemian spirit, but other elite children get drafted as well. Take a wild guess. Of course not. Lots of snow today in Michigan. Holy moly, snow. It's October. It's a bit early. Well, 18th of October. Holy moly. I remember it's much warmer than, it's not snow. It's like, anyway, Maine, in this case, will get some snow too. The Highwayman, thank you so much. Veronica, again, thank you for greetings, sending greetings from California. Time to wrap up soon. Bonde King, do you think that the levers will stop working in the Kremlin at some point? Of course they will. This is life. Everything stops working at some point. DH, Jewish leaving with help. Yes, I know. Everyone is leaving. The Epic Gamer from Mexico. Thank you so much. What? Viking 5227. Did you know that 10% of Americans believe chocolate milk comes from brown cows? Really? It's kind of crazy. Rachel Burkett, I hope your family and children are doing okay. They're safe, they're doing okay. Must be horrible being apart from them. You know what? Horrible. No, it's not horrible. It's very sad. It's very, a little depressing, very stressful. But horrible is to be in the army with a gun and with orders to kill Ukrainians. That's what horrible is. I can't say I'm not horrible, my friends. I'm not. I'm far, far from horrible. Make no mistake about it. Unpleasant, uncomfortable, tearful, yes, but not horrible. Mike, a.k.a. Big Mama in house. People searching for Jewish roots to come to Israel inside Russia. Yes, they are searching for Jewish roots. Yes, lots of people trying to get out of Russia any way they can. There's another great exodus from Russia. Russia has disenjoyed 6 exoduses, 6 waves, massive waves of immigration. It's like someone takes the cream out of the crop out of Russia, you know, out of the country. Like every 20 or 30 years. Poor country. Judith, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the message. $5 is a very strong message. So Glenn has not showed up. Glenn did not explain what he meant. That was the first time he actually found my message honest and truthful. Okay, it's too bad. Please, I'm not mad or anything, Glenn. It's very interesting for me to find out why you said what you said. Petrazi, that's funny. Okay, you see the mods? You see what happens when Bob leaves just for one time? We go on forever. David Sharp, I live in Britain. What news? I don't know. That's what was said, that there are some news from Britain. Oh, I think I got you what you meant. The new prime minister apologized for her mistakes, and then she fired Minister of Finance, something like that, and then she reversed some financial decisions made. That's what I meant. That's all the bad news I heard from England. The economy is not doing that good. That's pretty much it. So anyway, I'm not going to stretch the forgiveness of the mods, so we need to finish this up and go to pray. Couple questions. Joel Finkel, to what extent can ordinary Russians get alternative news? Or is it the propaganda machine all there is? No. Not all propaganda. YouTube, full of alternative news in Russian. I don't speak Russian to Russians because there are so many good outlets out there. Russians have access to everything they need. It's up to them. And Fed Up Americans, sending love to you and your family. Thank you so very much. Garage Boy says the Polish sausage is the best in the world. God bless Poland. Agreed. Robert Morgan, sorry for being late. Well, you're not late. You're just in time to join the prayer, Robert. Thank you so much. Let's pray for tomorrow's Security Russian Council special meeting. Bad news coming. Kopliel. I'm not sure if the bad news are coming. Let's pray that they're just gonna be regular news. I think the bad news can come in only one direction, the nukes, and those bad news will come unexpectedly. So I don't really care about tomorrow's Security Russian Council meeting. Thank you. My friends, thank you so much. I think I like this message. That was a good stream. Thank you so much. Let's pray, everyone. Religious people, not religious, just let's wish good to the world and to people. I really, really appreciate you coming here and you join us, and please join us in prayer as well. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and putting roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please help our children, keep them safe and healthy. Give us wisdom to raise them the way that when they become adults, they make this world a better place. We'll never engage into war with one another. I am asking you to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine, to bring peace to the country. Reach out to people, and you know who to reach better. Do whatever needs to be done to them. Reach out and touch their hearts, fill them with different feelings, love, emotions, whatever it takes, so they make the right decision to stop the bloodshed and to bring peace back to Ukraine. Please reach out all big world leaders and do the same. Do whatever you know needs to be done so they make the right decision to stop the bloodshed to Ukraine and to bring peace to the country. Please help everyone who has been affected, touched by these horrible, tragical events, who's been hurt emotionally, physically, who's been displaced, who's been made to run. Please help them. Give them strength. Give them opportunities for better life. Give them recovery, mental, physical, all kinds of recovery. Please help. These people really, really need your help. Answer the prayers and make their wishes come true. Help those who help in them. Bless those people. Please help my country, Russia. Please send an army of the strongest angels with the sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael in the shining armors, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Please have my country be run by the angels. Make it shine, make it righteous, make it good. Please help those who are responsible for making decisions to use nuclear weapon or not to use it. Please give them common sense. Fill their hearts with love, mercy, remorse, logic. Please make their hearts and souls softer, so they will never, ever decide to use and engage nuclear weapons. Please help us, people who are praying right now, people who are in Ukraine, in Russia, and in other countries. Help us all. And please protect us from the nukes being used in Ukraine or anywhere else for that matter. I'm asking for all pregnant women who are trying to make a decision whether to keep babies or not. Please reach out and talk to them so they make the right choice and the right decision. I'm asking for those who are in transition, fleeing, fearing for their lives, in search of better fates. Please help them, send help their way, and send good people their way. Thank you for bringing us together and giving us opportunity to pray together. Help everyone who is praying along with me and who is watching us pray. Answer the prayers and make people's wishes come true. I would like to ask you for help from a few people who reached out and asked to be put on the list. They are Michael Milkevitz, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Igor, and Galina, Cindy, Braddock, Buzz, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Marlene, Susan S., Fiona, Madeline, Stephen, Ellen, Freddie, Paul Binns, Felicia, Sabrina, Ian, Preacher's father, Rudy Kaisley family, Richard, Robert Morgan's sister, Mallory M., Dirk Misler and his father, James Rhodes, Jess Terry, Brittany S., Lars, please, rest soul of Lars Henrik's father in peace, and give Lars Henrik strength to go over the tragedy. Wait for it, Lane Hankins, Reese Gray, please help our friend. He is well remembered in his chat, and I hope and we hope that everything is well with him. Bridget Apley, Hannah and her children. Richard Burris, Ace, Ian, Angelic at Life, Scan Family's grandson, Grace, Barb, CS 2216, and daughter Lori, China Bill, Rafaela From, her daughter Anna, Michelin, Priscilla, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Martin, Joanne, Donald, Allison, Dave Moyers, I found Waldo, Liz, Deborah, Isabel Ligaw, may her father rest in peace, Narnian Lady, Janice Burgess, Maureen M. and her sister, Ariana, Terry Scoggs, Bruce, Kayleen, Michael, Thomas, Tony, Bob, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, Sandy Workman and her husband Rod, Mr. Hansel, Heidi Howitz, Golden Griffon, Terry Carter, Carol Reed. Also would like to ask specifically for 3 children. They really need your help. They are Coulter, Maverick, and Sebastian. Thank you so very much for helping them. Also, please help Jacob, Umel and Jennifer, Andrea, Bruce, Rob, Ashley and family, Florraine Chi, Cosmision, and Matt from Canada. Thank you so very much, dear God, our Father, Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you. Amen. My friends, thank you so much for coming. You're awesome and you rock. I will see you tomorrow with another message. Carthago delende est.